Human history is punctuated by heroic journeys where resilience transcends biological barriers. This document highlights exceptional personalities who, despite major physical challenges, redefine the standards of human will and absolute success. Subscribe for more educational and fascinating videos. Number 10. Amaya Stringer. Amaya Stringer is not merely a survivor of the whims of fate. She is the embodiment of poetic resistance in the face of total systemic adversity. Born with a degenerative spinal condition that deprived her of the mobility of her lower limbs from her first breath, and faced with profound hearing loss, she approached existence like a complex score that had to be reinvented note by note. Far from walling herself in silence or immobility, Amaya drew from a family environment bathed in unconditional love the strength to metamorphose her initial challenges into a unique and vibrant platform for expression. Her journey, marked by surgical interventions of rare complexity, has never diminished her fierce determination to fully integrate into the social fabric with rare elegance. Amaya does not simply move through life, she literally dances it, using her hands with choreographic agility to sculpt sign language and abolish the boundaries of isolation. By breaking the frameworks imposed by medicine, she proves that we can compensate for the deepest deficiencies. Today, she remains living proof of an unparalleled inner sovereignty and a universal source of hope for future generations. Number 9. Doug Forbus. Doug Forbus embodies the masterful transition between endured biological fate and hard-won sovereignty over the years. Born with a major malformation of the sacral spine, he manifested early lucidity at the age of 2 by opting for a radical surgical solution to prioritize future functional autonomy over conventional physical integrity. This choice, incredibly bold for such a young child, marked the prologue of a high-flying athletic career, transforming his titanium racing wheelchair into a true technological extension of his own muscular and mental power. Excelling in demanding disciplines such as wheelchair basketball and discus throwing, he demonstrated that prowess is never the tribute of limbs, but the fruit of steel-like mental discipline and flawless technical rigor. Today, as a respected educator, he passes on to his many students a philosophy of life centered on self-improvement and the proactive acceptance of the toughest challenges. He transmutes every daily challenge into a brilliant personal victory, demonstrating that natural authority emanates from pure will and not from bodily form. Number 8. Jean-Pierre. The story of Jean-Pierre is one of a titanic and solitary struggle against social invisibility and extreme poverty in the heart of cities. Born with a unique morphology that deprived him of the lower part of his body, he had to navigate an ocean of public contempt and systemic indifference within communities lacking support structures. Left fatherless at an early age, he made the street his academy of survival, drawing from an unsuspected reserve of courage to preserve his dignity amidst urban chaos and total destitution. His ambition to become an entrepreneur and own a modest home is not just a material quest, but an act of political resistance against the condescending charity that traps the individual in their need. By pursuing his education despite colossal structural obstacles, Jean-Pierre demonstrates that an individual's intrinsic value depends in no way on their stature or initial social status. His journey perfectly illustrates that the human soul can remain imperial even when fortune proves cruel, as his exemplary perseverance now commands the respect of all humanity and global institutions. Number 7. Kanya Sessa. Kanya Sessa has effected a Copernican revolution in the aesthetic canons of the contemporary global fashion industry through her mere presence. Born without lower limbs, she vehemently refused to be confined to a victim identity, choosing instead to make her difference a powerful and commercially viable aesthetic signature on the runways. For Kanya, modeling transcends the simple presentation of clothing. It is a political and spiritual affirmation of the freedom of the human spirit in the face of rigid beauty norms. She uses her body as a true living work of art, proving that elegance resides in attitude, presence, and unshakable self-confidence, far more than in perfect biological symmetry. By practicing extreme sports, she continually defies the laws of gravity and societal prejudices, offering a renewed vision of what it means to be a strong and independent woman. Her global media influence serves as a reminder that beauty is above all an inner resonance, and she masterfully redefines the codes of elegance and courage for all human beings. Number 6. Rowdy Burton. Rowdy Burton has completely reinvented the notion of urban mobility by making the skateboard an organic and fluid extension of his will for perpetual movement. Faced with a degenerative spinal condition that atrophied his lower limbs, he deliberately rejected traditional prosthetics, perceived as mechanical shackles, to adopt a dynamic lifestyle based on pure agility and speed. Thanks to an absolutely extraordinary athletic power in his arms, he navigates public space with an ease that arouses universal admiration among passers-by and experts alike. Every architectural obstacle becomes for him an opportunity for technical demonstration and unprecedented spatial creativity. Rowdy does not perceive his disability as a limit, but as a variable requiring a bold update of his personal movement system. His image, gliding swiftly over the asphalt, symbolizes the brilliant victory of ingenuity over the heaviest biological constraints. Through his passion, he illustrates how adaptation leads to absolute freedom, and Rowdy Burton thus glides toward a radiant and unhindered future toward glory. Number 5. Stacey Harold. Stacey Harold, with a stature of only 63 centimeters imposed by a rare bone disease, defied the laws of biology to realize her dearest dream, motherhood. By deliberately ignoring the pessimistic warnings of medical experts who judged any pregnancy fatal to her fragile frame, she gave birth to 3 perfectly healthy children. In doing so, she proved that the human will possesses survival mechanisms that science cannot always quantify with mathematical precision. Her role as a mother, exercised with total selflessness despite the immense logistical challenges imposed by her wheelchair, is a monument to selfless courage and pure love. Stacey irrefutably demonstrated that the size of a body has absolutely no relation to the greatness of the love it can contain or the lasting influence it can exert on others. Although she passed away in 2018, her legacy of resilience and faith continues to nourish the collective imagination, as her memory continues to shine in the hearts of men like an eternal and protective flame. Number 4. Chen Hongyan. Chen Hongyan, globally recognized by the affectionate epithet basketball girl, transmuted a childhood tragedy into a global Olympic triumph of rare intensity. Having lost her legs in an accident at the age of 4, she used a half basketball in a context of rural poverty to ensure basic mobility, a symbol of survival that moved the international community with its simplicity. This rudimentary base became the unexpected springboard for an exceptional career as a Paralympic swimmer, leading her to the Rio Games in 2016. In the liquid element, Chen discovered a liberating environment where terrestrial limits vanish entirely, transforming her arms into propulsion tools of formidable efficiency. Her journey, ranging from extreme precarity to the summits of sporting glory, illustrates the phenomenal capacity for metamorphosis of the human spirit when carried by absolute iron discipline. She proves that pain can be converted into positive driving energy, and her incredible courage draws the contours of a boundless hope for all humanity across the world. Number 3. Tio Satrio. Tio Satrio, a young prodigy from West Java, is an undisputed master of cognitive adaptation and pure functional ingenuity. Born without any limbs, he approaches his daily life as a series of complex logical challenges requiring innovative and personalized solutions at every moment. Using his chin and mouth with a dexterity that borders on art, he manages not only to master writing and advanced mathematical calculations, but also to establish himself as a formidable competitor in the global digital world of video games. For Tio, the absence of limbs is not a tragic fatality, but a stimulating invitation to invent new modes of interaction with his technological and social environment. His exemplary academic success and his devouring passion for technology demonstrate that human genius does not reside in the hands, but in the plasticity of a determined brain. His story is a vibrant testimony to the superiority of the spirit over matter, and Tio Satrio invents new forms of digital and personal freedom every day to inspire his peers. Number 2, Pia Martel. Pia Martel knew how to use the global digital stage to transform her physical singularity into a universal message of self-acceptance and luminous identity affirmation. Born with an incomplete spine, she learned from a very young age to navigate the world from a perspective close to the ground, refusing to let her small stature restrict her vast artistic and musical ambitions. At the age of 15, she began a courageous media journey to claim her most authentic identity, sharing her vocal talents on YouTube and performing on prestigious international stages. She has become a beacon for her community, proving that true beauty lies in the courage to be oneself without compromise in the face of narrow social norms. Pia works actively to transform society so that it finally recognizes the intrinsic value of every individual, regardless of their apparent physical imperfections. Her journey highlights that power lies in the ability to radiate from within, and she embodies the pure beauty nestled in the heart of the sovereign soul that refuses to bend before adversity. Number 1, Jennifer Bricker. Jennifer Bricker pushed the boundaries of the possible by becoming a world-renowned acrobat and gymnast despite the congenital absence of her 2 legs since birth. Raised in a family culture of absolute belief in her abilities, she transformed her body into an instrument of aerial grace, proving that gravity can be overcome by the power of will alone. Her journey took on an almost mythological dimension when she discovered, as an adult, that her lifelong idol, Olympic champion Dominique Moceanu, was actually her own biological sister. This revelation highlighted a genetic heritage of excellence that transcended the difficult circumstances of her birth. Jennifer embodies the fundamental idea that human fulfillment is not a matter of physical form, but of an instinct for conquest and a devouring passion for art. Using her powerful arms like wings, she demonstrates that the human spirit possesses an infinite reach, capable of reaching the most vertiginous heights of world professional sport. Jennifer Bricker now soars toward horizons of absolute glory, leaving behind an inexhaustible legacy of inspiration. Number 11, Stephanie Jo. Finally, let us evoke the exceptional case of Stephanie Jo, born with a rare condition that left her with only one functional limb, her leg, to face life. Where the medical profession expressed deep doubts about her future autonomy, Stephanie opposed them with an unshakable inner certainty and a communicative joy of living. Every morning, she faces the stares of existence, the external gazes, and physical fatigue with an energy that commands the respect of all who cross her path. A devoted mother, inspiring teammate, and woman of action, she shares her story on social networks to motivate those who doubt their own capacities. She teaches by daily example that life is not defined by what we lack, but by the valor with which we carry our responsibilities. She remains a living source of inspiration for future generations, proving that courage is the most beautiful of human ornaments in the face of the trials of earthly existence. These stories demonstrate that will is the true architect of our destiny. By refusing to define themselves by their physical shortcomings, these personalities teach us that the spirit has no limits. May these journeys inspire your own life.